way to get a clear perspective as to who wants what and what is the government actually going to do. Suhas Adiga, we just heard him a little while earlier. He's the General Secretary of the Karnataka State IT Employees Union. He's joining us today on the broadcast. We also have Samrudh Hegde, the spokesperson from the Congress Party, Madhu and Rao, spokesperson of the BJP, Samir Lodha, CEO, Techspin Services Private Limited, Priya Chetty Rajgopal, Managing Partner, Multiversal Advisory LLP. She's also with us today on the broadcast. Let me first take this across to Mr. Suhas. We heard you there a little while earlier. Now, you were talking about various issues that IT employees are already facing. Now, we just heard the Minister for Labour, and he clearly says at this point in time there are certain people who made this proposal. It is still something that's on the open forum. People can come give us suggestions. He says that there are people who are against it as well, and it's good that the matter has come out in the public forum now for people to really discuss about it. Are you going to really go with a memorandum, submit, some of the aspects that you just spoke about earlier, that they're already overburdened? You spoke about mental health issues. You spoke about other problems that employees are facing.
So these points which you have pointed out, it has been pointed out in the meeting itself where they were called, and the amendment was presented, proposal was presented. So we have made it very clear. So this is inhuman, it turns into slavery as well. So it is absolutely unacceptable. So one more thing we need to notice that if this law is being implemented, the shift system will have to be changed. Currently, the people are working 3 shifts, so it will lead to 2-shift system, which will reduce the workforce by 1/3 who are working in the shift-based systems. So this is a very serious threat to the people who are working here. So it will end up in extracting the more from the employees, and this one generating profit for the employers as well. So this is completely unacceptable. So we have a living. So current, as per the addition to the point which was made before. So as per the KCC study, Knowledge Chamber of Commerce and Industries, as per their study, currently 74% of the employees who are noted that they are currently missing their person priorities, like this one, let it be child's birthday, or let it be this one wedding anniversary, or any other sort of personal events. They have missed that so that they can support for the company when any issue or critical issue comes up. So this is the status which is there. So escalating the working hours without any limit. So the amendment which was presented over there, proposal was presented over there. There was no limit for how many hours the employee can be made to work. So in current scenario, only we know how much employees are made to work. So it's absolutely unacceptable. We are pushing to this one without any question. This has to be stopped.
Okay, you stay with us, Mr. Suhas. We'll come back to you to get another perspective. Before I get the 2 political representatives as well, I also want to bring in Samir Lodha and also Priya Chetty. Priya, coming to you. How do you really view this proposal? Some of the companies coming forward and telling the government, because the government says we don't want to do it. This is the companies that are coming and suggesting this to us, and we are looking at it as an option. Because you had somebody of the likes of even Mr. Narayan Murthy, of course, who's respected across the country, who spoke about 70 hours of putting in 70 hours of work in a week. So when you have this proposal that is coming from the government, which is just talking about 125 hours spread out over a few weeks, how do you really look at this?
Deepak, there are 2 ways of looking at it. One is what work you opt to do because there are pressures or there are outcomes, and that's typically sort of focused on a more senior kind of level of worker, the mid-level or senior level kind of person. And the second thing is what is legislated, and ours is 48 hours, and there's a reason for that. So these 2, I think, are an important thing to sort of factor in, because the conversation, what I hear is there's a desire to have the access to a longer working week when there is pressure, not to mandate to change it completely. If indeed they're looking at changing the working hours to increase it to 17 hours or 14 hours a day, it is going to be definite. I mean, I agree with Suhas and a few others that this is going to put a lot of pressure on the blue collar and the clerical workers, because you essentially are taking away private life. You're essentially putting a lot of pressure, and in these times, people are always taking multiple roles. The second thing is that I believe that, industry is being targeted when possibly there's no reason to target. If NASSCOM has said, and the focus has been IT, ITES, and NASSCOM has said we've never said anything of that sort, I kind of wonder where this is coming from. And the third thing is we've always been, as a nation, a very hardworking nation. We have got to where we are by dint of our effort, by our focus. And Bangalore particularly has never really held back in terms of working more. And a certain category which is entitled to overtime, will work when there is something to be done and there's collective interest and focus on outcomes. But to mandate it, I think, is going to be something which is maybe not very correct. And the reasons and the motivations for doing so, I'm sorry, I may not be very well informed if that is the case, but they don't seem very clear to me, Deepak.